What's up, everybody? Rabbit Hedgehog here, and we are at Indiana of Oklahoma City once again, and today we have the Aprilia Tuono V4 1100 factory. The more upright variant of the RSV. A little bit more street going, but still very aggressive motorcycle. Very, very aggressive, as you can tell. Very short wheelbase. That has actually surprised me. I was not expecting it to be that short. But man, it is a very compact motorcycle. Of course, you can see the big giant twin Brembo brakes up front. ABS, of course. Fully adjustable suspension front. Fully adjustable suspension rear. This one does have an Olin steering dampener on as well. That comes from the factory like that. It's adjustable as well. Electronic quick shifting. All that fun stuff. I won't go into everything because this bike has everything. So I'm going to put most of the stuff down below. Now this is the TFT screen that we see on the V85. It's where this came from basically. So we'll go ahead and pop that on. We'll see the Aprilia. Of course, you got shift lights, left to right, fuel, bright, cruise control, ABS, side stand, general maintenance, engine service, and traction control. On the left side, you have your control for bright, forward, regular, and then push the pass. You have pit mode. You also have this joystick here where you can go through your trips. You can see times. You can see maximum speed, average on your trip odometers. There's an A and a B. Of course, you have your regular odometer up there. Engine temperature, lean angle or roll angle. You have throttle. You have brakes. So you can see how much you're putting on the brakes and everything like that. All this traction control is controlled with the plus minus. So you can see traction control 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your different levels all the way to 8. You can back that off. There's a little paddle on the back side here to back that off again. Now that we got it running, you can see, of course, the ABS and the traction control need to be set after you go. So on the controls of this motorcycle, when we're climbed up on it, right side, of course, is kill switch and starter switch. And just like almost all Piaggio units, which Aprilia is part of, to change the mode there, you can go sport, race, and track, all by tapping the starter button after the motorcycle is started. So I'm going to go ahead and put this into a track mode, I guess. I might as well. So let's go ahead and take this one out for a ride. I think it's funny that this bike has cruise control. Why? So much power. Probably to keep your hand out of it. Like I said, it has the electronic shifter already pre-installed on it. Woo, brakes grab in a hurry. Love the way it sounds just sitting here at idle. Now this poor bike is one of those bikes that literally has everything on it. You got that roll angle and everything, so you can see how far you're turning over. I'm on the Oklahoma road, so I'm on the flattest roads in the world. I can't show you what this thing could do. It's so sad. Now this does have you in a very aggressive position, so it doesn't fold you like the RSV4, but your legs are very up there. My feet are way back, you know, kind of aligned with my hip because my shoulders are too far forward to align them. Having these big feet, if you got big size 14 feet, you're going to find the pedal box to be a little small. A little hard to get in there. And of course you're down, straight down from shoulders to the bars on your wrist, so it does hold you in that very sporting position. Of course you can tuck in, but you can't tuck in as well as you can on RSV4, because like I said, that Tuono is a little bit more upright. 28 degrees. That's fun to look down and see. I know that's nothing. This bike could do so much more, but it's just cool that you could see everything. Like I said, throttle output, you could see brake input, everything is here. It's just cool. Engine braking is ludicrously good too. And main braking is phenomenal. Every time I tap it, I mean, you barely put anything on it. And it's really only giving you front brake. You can see I'm hitting the back brake right now, and I don't see anything on the meter there. So it tells you how much you're going on the front brake more so than the back. This thing is just wild. So much stuff. Get it on the highway and see what we can do here. That quick shifter is brilliant. This thing turns in so well too. Now this is a 6-speed transmission. Now I'm not really going to do anything, you know, too incredibly quick or anything. We're just going to treat it like she's an everyday rider, because I mean this is a track bike that's on the street in track mode right now. Why not? But anyway, I mean this 4-cylinder right now, we're barely over 4,000 RPMs, holding 60 miles an hour, our highway speed right now. This thing is not churning at all. Now activation of cruise control is exactly like any other Piaggio one. You hold that down, let it turn on, and then tap it again, and now you're on cruise control. There you go. You can relax your hand a little bit, back off a little bit, and then let your wrists and stuff rest. And of course tap it down, there you go. You can see how fast it goes down, so the response on that is awesome. Get back up, there you go. And it tells you how your speed is set, so we're set to 55 for this construction zone. Now the suspension on this thing, fully adjustable, rebound, preload, everything adjustable on this thing. This is a race bike in street bike trimmings, for real. And it only has those 3 modes. Sport, track, race. No matter what, it's a race bike. But heck, man, even with cruise control and everything, it kind of makes it a little bit easier to deal with. You're just, like I said, it's a very short bike. So it doesn't have much rake to it, doesn't have much wheelbase to it. I would expect it to be a very choppy ride, but it's actually very compliant on the road. We have these horrifying roads to ride around on in Oklahoma. It's doing just fine. I mean, even over this right now, I really like the suspension setup on it. Front end is not choppy whatsoever. The back is very, very compliant. Everything is great here. Let him get by. All right. So if we're right now, because of everything happening, we're doing only 45 miles an hour, 5th gear, a little over 3 grand, almost 4 grand RPM, 3.5. I mean, this engine is not being taxed whatsoever. Of course, it depends on which variant of this engine you have. You have 170 to 201 horsepower craned by Aprilia. So there's a lot of horsepower in this motorcycle. There's a lot at your disposal. So of course, having advanced wheelie mitigation and advanced traction controls and all the fun stuff on a vehicle with this short of wheelbase is a great thing to have, because the thing just rockets. I mean, this thing is ludicrously powerful. Hit that, you see that wheel mitigation thing come on, tells you you're keeping your wheel down, son. You're not going to be bad. Like I said, I like the electronic quick shift is really crisp. The engine responds really nicely. Everything rev matches, so you're good. Super easy to shift up and down. This thing is incredible. Of course, like I said, if you want to change this on the fly, of course, you got to pull in the clutch a little bit and change your mode. So I'm going to go to race mode, which is your hotter mode of them. So much trouble I could get into. This bike just doesn't feel like it's moving at all when it starts to just climb, because the engine is not being taxed at all. This thing redlines all the way around 12.2 to 12.5 by the graph there. So there's so much room to make power with this engine. You can see on that power module, I'm barely putting any throttle into it to hold any sort of speed. I mean, it just... just an amazingly powerful motorcycle. Like I said, you could do this all with engine braking as well, and it's going to do that just fine. Everything on this bike is incredibly well done. Right now, this is all engine braking. Now I'm in that snappier mode. Whoa! Whoa! Oh boy! Whoa, this thing's got a lot to offer. I really wish I could get some good turns on this thing, because this thing would destroy them in ways that I can't imagine. Incredible. I'll go ahead and kill the cruise there. I mean, this thing is just designed not for this kind of riding. I mean, yeah, it is more upright, but this thing still feels like it'd be more home on the track. I mean, it's just amazing. I'm in 4th gear doing city speeds at under $4,000 right now. I mean, this thing, and it's just got so much grunt and power right there and then. It's just all over the place. Of course, that's the hallmark of a V engine. Power everywhere. This is all engine braking once again, and it is just incredible. Like I said, the Brembos on the front are great, and the Brembos on the back are great. Everything's good on this bike, but my goodness gracious, just the engine alone will get you down. Good gracious! This is not my style of motorcycle. Everybody knows that Hedgehog likes something he doesn't have to fold up on. I'm very much well folded on here. That is just too daggum fun. It's just so different from the Japanese superbikes. It's so different from their leader bikes. It's just the way it produces power everywhere. You're in only 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 RPMs, you rip it and the bike just wants to pull its front wheel off the ground and go crazy. I mean, you don't have to spin it up. You don't have to be in a high RPM range. You're just producing power everywhere. I mean, there's so much power. Trouble making Rabbit Hedgehog arrested and thrown in jail power. Good night. Alrighty. Woo, doggy. Oh man, okay, let's go this way this time. Got some bumps here. Like I said, the suspension, so good. Oh yeah, just a light tap of that shifter. It just, oh, I love it. Such a great, precise machine, and the engine is so smooth, and the power delivery is just magnificent. I mean, it is towering loads of torque and horsepower from everywhere. Just, oh yeah. All right. Horn doesn't sound too bad. I mean, it's very quiet. All right, let's go ahead and let's take it to, what's traction control 6 here? I have no idea. Oh man, this thing's a riot. Just incredible how amazing engine braking is and everything. It's like you don't really have to tap the brakes at all. Just use that to go down. I'm not even trying. I don't want to. I don't want to get in that much trouble. You're trying this machine, you're gonna go to jail. Now the one thing is, with this big being so cramped, I mean, I feel like I don't have enough movement, especially my right hip has a little bit of a cramp going on in it right now. I mean, this bike definitely doesn't have much room for bigger folk like me. And I'm 6 foot tall, 32-inch inseam, and about 228 or so pounds, and that's where I sit. This thing hauls my rear end just fine. Like, just amazingly. Good gracious. I don't even know why I'm shifting this. I don't have to. All right, let's get her up here again. Got a longer ramp to play with. Oh no! Oh, I'm gonna get in so much trouble. I love it. 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 Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh man, this is the first Aprilia RSV or Tuono V4 I've done. Just phenomenal machine. And I'm on very broken concrete right now. Usually if I'm on a different kind of bike, you'll hear the voice go This one just absorbs it. I mean, like I said, the suspension is phenomenal. I cranked the steering stabilization to maximum so that way I'm not doing anything like that. There's no jitter in this bike whatsoever. This thing is solid. Absolutely solid. This is an incredible. I just can't get over this thing, man. It's just, it has so much more soul and vibrance than any of the Japanese bikes that I've rode before in sport biking. This is just better in every way. I love this engine. This is the most incredible engine. Okay, so now I finally found my new favorite engine. Absolutely incredible. Fueling is so precise on this machine too. There's no hiccups in it at all. There is no stalling. There is no dead zones. Just precise fuel. Precise power and delivery and expected. You just know where it's at. You can feel a little mitigation taking over here and there. Of course, I have it on everything you can do. Make sure I keep her on the ground because, like I said, this bike is such a narrow, such a short wheelbase motorcycle. Oh man, this thing gets up in speed too without you realizing it too. It just kind of travels up there, such a light input needed for any power. This thing is ludicrous. I love it. But like I said, for the long run, I mean, it's just the setup for me. I'm not a fan of being folded over, and I haven't been on it for very long, but I'm already feeling my hip not liking it. I'm already feeling my bum really not caring for the seat right now. I mean, I could feel it's not the most comfortable sitting motorcycle in the world, but when you're on the track, and I mean, that's what this thing is. It's not necessarily a street bike, but it has street bike cred. I mean, it's got, of course, cruise control. It's got some things to help back off. That way you don't have to have your, weight fully on wrists and everything. You just kind of back off and kind of let go for a moment and calm down. So, I mean, it's got some ways to make it livable on the street, but this thing belongs. Its heart, its soul, its mind, everything belongs on the track. It does not belong on these kind of roads. But man, oh man, if you have one on these roads, there's not going to barely be anything that's going to keep with you. Not going to barely be anything that you can't beat. I mean, this thing is absolutely incredible. I'm taking this real easy because it's dip and then a big bump and then dirt everywhere. There we go. Even that bump wasn't that bad at all. All right. Got a truck here. Alrighty. Of course, you got all the power in the world to, I don't know why I'm using a clutch again. Just so much habit. I mean, I've been going between the electric shifter and clutch, and either way, I mean, the clutch is super smooth too. I mean, this is a cable actuated clutch. It is not hydraulic. You get a very good response off the clutch as well. So your friction zone is about 1.5 inches off of the lever on this one. So very, very precise. It's very light too. It's a very one-finger operational clutch. So everything on it is just precisely tuned to be a monster on a track. And definitely not a street fighter. It's a street monster. This thing is a bad mamma jamma. Just, it sings song to your soul. Absolutely one of my favorite bikes I've ever rode, despite it being a very uncomfortable machine. It's just because of everything about it being so precise and easy and readable, and the cool things it's doing, like telling me how much throttle input and lean angle and everything is right there in front of me. I mean, it's just so awesome to see this. And like I said, this is the new screen they share with the V85 as well. I mean, it's got technology all over it that's being now put down into the other models for Piaggio, because these things here, these factories from Aprilia, like the RSV4 and the Tuono and all them, are kind of the top of their tier. So when it comes to Piaggio, this is where their technology is being developed and pushed down, and it definitely shows. It's definitely put together really, really well. Fit and finish is really good. The bike is super stable. The suspension is amazing. I mean, it holds my fatness up, and I haven't even changed anything. Mirrors, they could use some work. I can't quite get to where I can see without being leaned down a little bit more here and there. They're not quite tall enough for being in a street mode when you're sitting up this tall. But other than that, that's the only gripes I have. This engine is darn perfect. Spot on performance, fueling, power, just amazing power. I can't get over that. And the smoothness too. It's a very smooth operating engine, but you can feel a little bit of it here and there. You could feel the sole coming out around the foot pegs. You could feel a little bit into the handlebars, especially when you rip it. You can feel that engine start to sing. Of course, it doesn't shake you to death. It just makes you feel like you're on a machine, and that's what you need sometimes. You want to be one with the machine. You want to feel the machine. It's just phenomenal. Well done. Well done, Aprilia. I really like this package here. It's just a phenomenal motorcycle. One of the most fun I've had in a while on a motorcycle. I'm giddy, man. This is just incredible. I need this on a track day. I need this in some good twisties. I need this in a lot of places. Yeah, it'll take me 2 hours to get to twisties and I'll be tired, but I'll rest for a moment and go tear them up and tear them up again and tear them up and then go home after the day is done. Because this bike deserves to be in those kind of turns and having that kind of fun. So at any rate, this is the Rabbit Hedgehog, and this is going to be the ride review of the Aprilia Tuono V4 Factory 1100. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And once again, thank you to Indian of Oklahoma City for always helping us out, finding us bikes to ride. It doesn't matter if it's Indian or if it's one of their used bikes. I mean, this is one of theirs that somebody traded in for an FTR. So that's really, where this came from. But I mean, it just shows you who they're attracting. It's attracting these sport bike people, and that FTR is an amazing motorcycle too. It's way more comfortable, I'll give it that. But man, this one has got so much power. It's just mountains and mountains of power. So if you're looking for a motorcycle that you're willing to take out the track and just destroy track days, this is dadgum the one you want. So at any rate, keep that shiny side up, folks. We'll catch you on the next review.